Hey everyone, my name is Mzulu Anis. So I'm here to present my work for the two questions whether computers can think and whether could we ever have a computer that able to think. So okay, let us begin. So this question whether computers can think is one of the most debated topics in philosophy mind and intelligence. So this question has been like it has been debated over decades, and I think it was suggested by Alan Turing in his question whether can machines think. So before answering this question, I think we should first understand by the term what is thinking, because everyone has like a different meaning of thinking. So in my view, thinking is the mental process of generating ideas, making judgments, solving problems, imagining and reasoning. So here thinking, I think it involves syntax. I think that's rules for manipulating data, processing data, semantics, that's true understanding, but not just handling words, sock numbers, but attaching meaning to them. So it involves conscious, that's self-awareness. So if truly someone is thinking, that someone has to be aware of what he or she is doing. Intentionality. Sure, I think that's the being with the intention of what you are doing. So knowing why am I doing this thing, why am I doing this thing. So I think that's thinking. So when I look at this as a chatbot, okay, this chatbot is like it is the development of an interactive chatbot designed to educate users about the Uganda's diverse culture and geographical landscape. So this chatbot is not going to teach you about like the Ugandan tradition, but it's going to teach you about the diverse aspects of Uganda. Like it can act for the geographical landscape and the cultural tradition, the art. For example, the tradition for the traditions, for example, the attire, how do they behave, their social behaviors, where are they found. So I think this chatbot is going to be like, for example, here this chatbot can answer questions such as what language does the Uganda speak, where can I find the Acholi. It may also explain traditions, social behaviors, and cultural practices. So when I look at this chatbot as a reference, so this question becomes even more relevant. So the system seems to be intelligent, it analyzes data and provides resources, but does this mean the system is really thinking? So when I look at this chatbot, like it provides useful data, like like it's really good, and then it can be used for education purposes and tourist purposes. But does it mean that this chatbot is thinking, or does this mean that it understands what it's doing? So according to Saray's Chinese room experiment, so a computer program operates on syntax, used for manipulating symbols, but it lacks semantics to understanding. Chatbot, for example, can generate text that look like, let's say, cultural knowledge. For example, it may respond to someone in Uganda, living in central Uganda. Mountain Road is found like in the places of Mbale, like the eastern region of Uganda. So, but the chatbot does not actually know who the Baganda are, or does not know how Mountain Road are, or maybe why those positions are meaningful in Uganda. But just like someone in Chinese room, like who has a bunch of characters of Chinese, and they are translated. For example, in the Chinese room, someone is given characters of Chinese, and then the different, the corresponding like translation of, for example, in any language, let's say English. So that someone can relate those Chinese Chinese characters to the English characters, and they can give you the dialect, then they can give you the dialect translation. But does that someone understand Chinese? So So from this perspective, the chatbot is clear sense of simulation without thinking. So I think the chatbot is the clear sense like simulating that is like learning from someone how to respond to someone, but it does without thinking or understanding. It may look like it's reasoning about different aspects in Uganda, but in reality, it's just processing given data and rules. So in conclusion, this chatbot demonstrates that the computers can process information and simulate reasoning, but does that qualifies as true thinking? Depending on how one defines thinking. If thinking requires consciousness and understanding, then computers do not think. For example, if thinking requires awareness and true understanding, then computers do not think. But if thinking is defined more functional as producing useful and intelligent behavior, as to what we say that computers like this chatbot could be said to be thinking in the limited sense. So this takes us to our next question. That could you ever have a computer that is able to think? So let us go to this next question. So using a chatbot as a reference, it is more evident that computers are really powerful tools capable of processing large amount of data. So computers like this chatbot, I think you can give it a lot of data and you can process it in a given in a limited amount of time. For example, you can ask it a very large to generate you for large amount of data, so it can generate that data, so it can process large amount of data in a given amount of some amount of time. So that really like seems to it to be a powerful tool. But the question asks whether we can get a computer that will be able to think. So for that, I have paths and challenges to achieve that. So before going to this, I think that question is requiring for like the arguing for the existence of some AI and weak AI. So weak AI, like for them, they are capable of processing like information, like numbers, and so the whereas strong AI is a hypothetical form of AI that if it could be developed, would possess intelligence and self-awareness equal to those of human and the ability to solve an intelligent problem. So for strong AI, like if it's like developed as a computer, so it could possess intelligence. It could possess all the intelligence as like suggested by Professor Howard Gardner, all the types of intelligence. So without strong AI, for strong AI, I think is the AI we have today. Like for them they simulate our behavior, so like they follow even rule of processing data. So one path is like super intelligent AI, which I thought was artificial intelligence that will go beyond rule following. For example, it is integrated. If it's single integrated like this chatbot, this abilities, it could identify someone is interested, ask questions, and interact with the people in the way that is meaningful. Unlike the current chatbot that only based on rules, and other will be breakthrough in neuroscience. So neuroscience is the study of the nervous system, especially the brain. If really science can find a way to replicate human brain structure in a computer, so if like the science can find a way to replicate the human brain in a computer, so I think that we can be able to have a computer and be able to think. So however, there exist challenges. Challenges also occur, and one is the problem, which is consciousness, which I said that the future computer will it be conscious. For example, that future computer will be aware of what it's doing. Another one is ethical concern, like if can it be greater than the moral status, for example, that someone can trust it with that information is giving to him or her. So in conclusion, despite all the above challenges and the fact of high level of technology progress, maybe one day computers may cross the line from advanced chatbots to unique thinkers. So I don't say like we can't have a computer that's able to think. You can build a computer that's able to think, because no one knew you can build a computer, no one knew you can build a car. So due to the high level of technology trends and the high level of like technology progress, maybe one day we can build a computer that's able to think. Therefore, while today's computers cannot think in the human sense, which I believe, like today's computer, they can't think in the human sense, so they are not conscious, they don't understand. So it is possible that the future computers may achieve genuine thought. So thank you for listening to me.